Hello everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to the Awakened Healer Within. Today I am sitting out in the gazebo and I'm using the earpieces because there are a lot of animals that are out and around this area, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be too distracting, but anyway, that's why I have these on. Okay, so for those of you that are brand new that have never seen these videos, they are me as a conscious channeler. I am a spiritual medium and I bring through insights and information to help you on your own ascension paths as healers by channeling the Entourage. And like I said, if you're new, then you can look in the description to see who the Entourage is actually made up of. Okay, so every video does build off of each other. So if this is the first one you've watched, I do highly encourage you guys to go back and watch the first one and watch them all the way through because the information continues to build as I continue to do them each week. Okay, so last week I was talking about being able to scan the body, to be able to understand the sensations that your body is giving off in order to give you the messages about what is in need of healing. Well, today the Entourage wants to talk about the tools and the techniques that are necessary. They are a part of the co-creation of the healing that's going on. And there are basic tools that everyone can use, but keep in mind that everyone has their own toolbox based off of what their mission is. What are you here to do? And so I always tell people to be aware that the tools that are in your toolbox are specific for you, but then we do all have common ones that we share. So we're going to talk about those first. The ones that are really common that most everybody has in their toolbox is what I call like a sword. And a sword is utilized for cutting ties. It's cutting energy connections that do not serve you. And please keep in mind, I'm going to say this as a disclaimer up front, all of these tools are etheric. It's all done mentally in your mind. None of it is utilizing a literal formation of an item. It's all done in your mind. Okay, so a sword for cutting ties, some type of armor. So whether that is like a breastplate or a shield, the armor is utilized as a way of bringing forth your sovereignty. It allows you to create a healthy boundary between other things and you so that your free will has options. Okay, that's what the Entourage is saying is important about having some type of armor or shield. And then the other thing that's common is some type of tether. And the tether is similar to a cord or a lasso, but it's only meant to be like tossed out while you're working with other people, and then you cut that tie so that you're not still connected to them afterwards. The other thing that I tie and tether out to is source energy and also Gaia, like nature, because that is our fuel. So those are three things that are common for everybody to have in their own toolbox. Some of you might be like, oh, that kind of sounds like the armor of God. Well, it is. It's very similar to that. In the armor of God, they've got the helmet of salvation, they've got the breastplate of righteousness, they've got the sandals of peace, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of the truth, and the shield of faith. So if those are things that resonate with you, then you can utilize those tools for yourself as well. Because the things that resonate with you are the things that are going to help you to become aware of the other tools that are in your toolbox, because sometimes the tools will build off of each other as well. Okay, what the Entourage was letting me know when I was making the notes for the video is that the tools are incorporated into techniques that we use then for the healing. And again, it's all done mentally. And then from the technique that you use, the important thing is to put your intention into the technique. And voila, and then you have awesomeness from there. So there are other tools that they mentioned that I'm going to go ahead and talk about now, because these may be some of the other tools that you guys find in your toolbox. Okay. Colors. Colors are really, really, really popular tools when you're doing healing. Just like the chakras all have colors connected to them. Those colors have a common theme, in other words, and so the colors are used as tools. The elements, obviously, of Gaia are, in my opinion, the backbone of healing are the elements. So you've heard me mention this in a lot of videos. The fire is to dissolve things that no longer are needed. The wind shifts perspectives. Water purifies and cleanses what's left over. Earth is grounding, nourishing, and nurturing for us. Also, sacred symbols. A lot of people use sacred symbols, or like if you are studying specific healing techniques, you're going to get symbols that come into play. And here's the thing about the symbols. The Entourage is talking about when we do this symbol right here, thumbs up, is a symbol that has taken on a consciousness and a power over so many years, because it's been used continuously. You can probably go to any country and they know what this means, right? This is a symbol. So just like that, you can utilize certain symbols that have been used for so long, that the power of the intention of using that symbol has upped the vibration so much that when you use it repetitively, it's stronger. That's why, like, people that do Reiki, they're using these symbols that have been passed down for so many years, that when you put the symbol in with the healing, it ups the vibration. So that's just an example. So lots of different sacred symbols that can be utilized. Metatron's Merkaba. You know, we talk about the Merkaba because it holds the power, it holds the vibration, it holds the space. It's like wrapping it into its own personal globe. Okay? So the Merkaba is another tool. And then you've got a variety, I already mentioned the colors, but even sounds, a variety of different sounds that are used for healing. Maybe, okay, so this brings, the Entourage is reminding me of when I did a video a while back with Mary. I forgot her last name. Sorry, it's like slipped my mind for a moment. But she works with the harmonic egg, and it's a wooden structure that sound and color therapy is put into, and it's for healing purposes. And she, you know, it's amazing. She talks about the fact that there are certain sounds that are contribute to the healing of certain things. And you can probably look it up online, but like the piano is good for something, the guitar is good for something, the flute is good for something, the violin is good for something. And I would have looked all that up if I had realized that they were going to talk about that, but it's like, it's true. Certain sounds are very helpful in healing for specific things that you're dealing with. So sounds could be in your toolbox. And then the last thing that I wrote down that they mentioned earlier was crystals, utilizing different crystals. Now the crystals will be in an actual form if you want to, and you can utilize and hold them while you're doing healing sessions for yourself or other people. But you may end up finding that you can just imagine, because what I do is I just imagine the crystals in my mind, and then I take the vibration of that crystal in my mind and I incorporate it into the session. that I'm doing, whether it be for, me or somebody else. Okay, so those are the tools that I wanted to just kind of put that out there. And again, some of you that have been healing for a long time are probably already utilizing and, shaking your head going, yep, those are in my toolbox. And for some of you, maybe I mentioned some that you hadn't thought about before. So in this video, they want me to go ahead and describe again one of the main techniques that you can use for anything really. It's one of the most common techniques that I use on a broad spectrum. I will say that I had asked Metatron many years ago, I said, why isn't there just one technique, like a one-all fix-all? And he said, that's just not the way it is. Everything holds a different vibration, and so utilizing a different technique helps with that specific vibration. And he didn't really say a whole lot more than that. He just kind of kept it as though that's just not the way it is. I'm going to teach you lots of different ones, because if one thing doesn't work, there's always a that's the one thing he did say. He goes, there is a technique that works. So like if you try something and it doesn't work, it just means that you need a different technique. And I have found that that's true, because I will experience something. Again, I'm so sensitive to energy, and I will empathically pick up on an energy, and I'll sit there and run through different techniques until I find the one that clears it. Now for me, Metatron works with me on a regular basis, explaining to me what I'm gonna feel, and then giving me the techniques, and then he tests me with it. And so I've gotten to the point where I'm usually pretty good at picking up on the technique that will work, but sometimes I get hit by something like, I don't know what this is, and then I just kind of have to run through a variety of different techniques until I find the one that clears. But there's always a technique that does it. So you got to be patient in this process of this healing journey, again, with yourself and other people, because you may not be able to find the right tool or the right technique at first, right off the bat. Be patient, because it's there. And maybe it's just not easy for you to find, because you're meant to go through the process of learning about it more, okay? So this technique that they want me to show you, I did briefly mention it before, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with it today. And then, like I said, I really do want to talk about the joints, but it's going to be a long video. And I'm still a little jet lagged from the traveling that I'm doing, so I would rather do it when I'm more mentally prepared to do a longer video. So this technique, again, that I use consistently for a lot of different things, and I think it's worth teaching you, because I feel like you'll find lots of different ways that it'll work for you as well, or at least I hope so. I call it the A star, and what you're doing is you're taking whatever the sensation is that you're feeling in your body, and when you realize whether it's an emotion, if it's an emotion that you're picking up on, or it's a injury, ailment, something like that, that's someone else's, and you happen to be picking up on it as well, and you don't need to be holding on to it because it's not even yours, which I talk about whether things are yours in some of the other videos. But say, again, it's whatever. Sorry, that scared the crap out of me. It sounds like a garage door at the neighbor's house, and the dogs. Great. Anyway, so, okay, so it's called the A star, and what you're doing is you're taking whatever it is that you're ready to process because it's no longer serving you, and you're going to use your tether, and you're going to tether out to what it is. And these are the words that I usually use: across all space, time, dimension, and reality, all known and unknown thoughts, feelings, and emotions that have to do with this experience. Okay, I'm going to put that in quotes or parentheses. Fill in the blank, in other words, that have to do with whatever this is, whether it's an emotion, a situation, or a sensation. Okay? And then you can say, I call it forward into the light. Maybe that's the light of God, or the light of Creator, or the light of love. I always say shrink it down so that it is more manageable, especially if it's painful. Shrink it down to something really tiny. I use a mustard seed. And then I ask it to process back to love. Because back to love is where it's processed and it leaves you completely. Okay? It usually, as a technique, is really quick. It doesn't take long. I would say that for me, when I use that technique with very simple energetic things that are not like, if we're talking about easy breezy things, I'm not talking about something that's super, super, super deep within you, because that might take a little bit more intention in the technique that you use. But, and this works really good, especially, like I said, if it's energy that's not even yours to carry. And I would say within a minute, 5 minutes, you should be back to normal. You should be back moving on with your day, that you're able to let go of whatever this is when you use that technique. I'll say it one more time, just because I know you guys are probably writing it down. Across all space, time, dimension, and reality, all known and unknown thoughts, feelings, and emotions that have to do with fill in the blank. I call it forward into the light, into the love. I shrink it down to the size of a mustard seed, and I ask it to process back to love. And you pull it into your heart, and that was one of the hardest techniques that I fought like crazy with my guides, was pulling it into the heart. But the heart is the processor, because I kept telling them, if I pull it into my heart, it's going to hurt, it's going to attach to me. And they're like, no, the heart processes it out. And it took a while, but I do trust them now. I don't hold on to things. The heart does process it for me and actually takes it back to source, so I can let go of it. So yeah. Okay, so that's, again, just a very common one that you can utilize for things that you do not want to carry. And that one does build off of other techniques that I'll go into in the future as well. But I think that's enough for today. We're already at 18 minutes. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any comments about it, please don't hesitate to do that in the comment section below. If you found this video informative, if you would give it one of those, I appreciate that. And if you know anyone else that might enjoy the content, please go ahead and share it with them as well. All right, you guys have a good week, and thanks for watching. Until next time, myself and the Entourage says best wishes. Okay, bye.